Siman Pei Gimel, Be'ez Hashem. So we're talking about taking money from the Rishonim, and we just explained the pshat in the Medrash about Yosef and the brothers, that Yosef said, don't worry, I'm going to support you, and your money's going to come through me, it's not going to come through the Rishonim. Ulefia nal yisbaru divrei Yalkut shehevenu le'el. Brought in Siman Pei, the Yalkut says, Vayinachem oisam vayidaber al libam, that he spoke to their hearts. So the lashon vayidaber al libam is found also by Shabbos Nachmu, right? Nachmu ami yomer alokechem dabru al lev Yerushalayim. Speak on the heart of Yerushalayim, comfort Yerushalayim. V'kiru eleha ki mala tzva ki nirtza avoyna. Right. So it says that we compare the two things. We compare Yosef's comfort to the brothers with Hashem's comfort to us. And the question is, why do they compare? He says, "V'haloi dvarim kal v'chomer." The Medrash says it's a kal v'chomer. Uma Yosef shai medaber al libam shel echav. That Yosef spoke to the hearts of his brothers and comforted them. Dvarim tovim, dvarim nechumim nichmam. Things that are good and things that are comforting, he spoke to them and comforted them. But then HaKadosh Baruch Hu b'yinachem es Yerushalayim, when Hashem comes in the future, when Mashiach comes and he comforts Yerushalayim, k'dechsiv dabru lev Yerushalayim, alachas kama v'kama, haveinachmu nachmu ami. Uchsiv ki nicham Hashem tzion, Hashem comforts Zion, nicham kol charvos Yisrael, he comforts all its ruins, vayasam midbar k'ed, and he made its desert like Gan Eden. Okay, so what's the pshat? The Rebbe asks, what is this comparison? Why do we need to compare the future nechama to Yosef HaTzadik? One has nothing to do with the other. So he says, but according to what we're learning, there is a very strong similarity. Why? It's just going to be greater, but it's the same idea. Many times greater. Now we understand very good why Chazal made them similar, compared them so much, so well. To learn from one to the other, because really they are the same idea. How is that the same idea? The pasuk says in Yechezkel, Lamed Vav, it's in the Haftorah of Parshas Para, Koyamar Hashem Elokim. Hashem says, on the day that I purify the Jewish people from their sins, I'm going to resettle the cities, and I'm going to build up the ruins of Eretz Yisrael. The cities that are destroyed and desolate are going to be built up again. And the nations will know Ki ani Hashem Banisi hanerasos. I am Hashem who builds the ruins. Notati haneshama. I have planted the desolate areas. Ani Hashem dibarti v'asisi. I am Hashem who spoke and carried out. The question is, why is this the praise of Hashem that He's going to build up these cities in Eretz Yisrael? V'yita hanasham, and He'll plant the desolate areas. The question is, why is that being spoken about as like the big praise of Hashem? When the goyim will see it happening, they'll say, Ki ani Hashem banisi hanerasos. I'm Hashem who built the desolate. Anybody who builds anything, Hashem is helping him build it.
This pasuk is referred to in a Turkat.
Yeah? Oh yeah, right, because who's the real keepers of the city? Who's the real builders of the house? Right.
And then they bring this pasuk.
Medrash Necha, yeah, I know.
And it's also Yishalmi Chagiga.
Yeah. Okay. Umahu inyan habesura zu shebiser akasuv sheiya nikar hayidiyah. Why is the pasuk telling us that it will be known, it will be recognizable that Hashem is doing it? B'chol ha'amim, all nations will know Hashem is barach bana hacharevos. Hashem builds the whole world. He builds He created the heaven and earth. Umal Yosef, and the whole, the whole outer space. Umahu Hashevach Bozeh Shebana Acharevis. What's the big deal that he built these buildings? Of course he built the buildings. He built the buildings in Eretz Yisrael. He built the buildings in Europe. He built the buildings in America. He built everything. So what's the difference that he built these buildings? Okay? Amnam Nispar Tehine Barur Hadavar. Oh, so here's the famous words of the Rebbe. He says it's Barur Hadavar. It's clear to me, B'li Shum Sad Safek, without any doubt. T'chol Ela HaBinyanim Shabanu Aminim V'apikarsim. All the buildings that were built by the heretics, by the Zionists, B'artzeinu Akdoisha in Eretz Yisrael, Yisarfu. They're all going to be burnt. V'yecharvu. They're all going to be destroyed. Al Yidei Melech HaMashiach. Melech HaMashiach comes. He's not going to say, let's take the Knesset building and we'll just, we'll fix it up a little bit, make it into a yeshiva. No, all the buildings are going to be knocked down. V'lo yisharu mehem sari depali. No building will escape. No building will be left over. Why? How do I know that? Kal v'chomer mi sefer Torah shekos v'ymin. You see, even a sefer Torah, a holy sefer Torah with every word written in it that's written by a heretic, shetzarich l'sarfoi imo azkar sheva. You have to burn it together with Hashem's name. Because of a Rambam Zal Perak Vav Milchus Yisrael Torah Halacha Hey, the Rambam explains Hatam, the reason for this. Shemitzvah l'sarfoi kadei shelo yilahaniach shem la'apikorsim v'lo l'ma'aseim. Not to leave over any name, anything that you could remember the apikorsim by or their actions. Okay? You can't leave over anything that will remind us of the apikorsim. We'll say this yeshiva, who originally built it, it was built for the Tachana, for the bus station or something, right? Oh, now we just change it into a yeshiva. No one's going to say that. Okay? Now, by the way, I don't know if regular buildings are included in this, like apartment buildings and stuff like that in Eretz Yisrael. I don't know if that has to do with what the Rebbe is saying, because it wasn't built by the Zionists per se. It was built by contractors, and they sold it to people like they do all over the world. That's not Zionism. If someone builds a building for Zionism, for the city or for the country or something like that, an office building that has to do with the country, it has to do with the government, that's what he's talking about.
What do you mean by office building?
I mean like an office building that has to do with the government.
Even if they just do garbage or something?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Because it's still Haniach Shem. Everyone's going to say, this building was originally built by Zionism.
So a church, you are allowed to convert to a shul, right?
There's discussion about it. I don't know what the real. V'chol zeh mayri. All this is speaking about b'sefer Torah shenichtav kadinoi, a sefer Torah that's written according to halacha. V'lo chidesh bo yamin shum ois oy nekuda. The heretic didn't add anything to it. Didn't change anything. El hatikoy mi sefer Torah kshera imo askar shaboy. He copied it from a kosher sefer Torah, and he copied Hashem's name properly. V'yafa pisha kosvoy al manas lilmoy boy. And even though the min wrote it to learn with it, he's not trying to make anybody, follow his minas. Sarch l'sarfoy. You still have to burn it. Shelo lo haniach shem lepulasai. Not to leave over anything that the min created. Ki pu'ulas hamin tachnis eres haminus. B'lisafik b'lev kol ahoyge v'koribod. Because the action of this heretic is going to put the poison of heresy into the hearts of anybody who reads this Sefer Torah or learns from it. Mikol shekain. So now by the Zionists, Mikol shekain kol oisna binyanim shabanu aminim. All the buildings that the minim built, the base minus, that have to do with the house of heresy. Not like a regular building, but like a building that's built for the Medina, like let's say the public schools of the Medina, right? Or any kind of government office. She'ikar yisoidasam lahafitz minus b'Israel. That their main purpose is to spread the heresy of Zionism in the Jewish people. Ubeirarti. Okay, so those buildings are going to have to be destroyed. When Mashiach comes, before he starts building up Eretz Yisrael, he first has to take away all the bad stuff. Beirarti b'sifri v'yoam Moshe Maimer Aleph Simon Kuf Tes Midivrei Amar Ramshik Zal b'Tshuvasai Ramshik. He says, "Devemakom sheyesh chashash amshuchi abasrei v'chuli alma So there's a sugya over there about going into a base of Avodah Zarah, right? That Reb Tarfon said, if someone's coming to kill you or a snake's coming to bite you, you can go into the house of these people, but you can't go into their into a base minim. You can go, in other words, you can go to the base of Avodah Zarah, but you can't go to the base minim. I think, right? So that's what he says. So he says the Maram Shik brings there that when there's a chash to go after them, it's something you shouldn't do even if you're going to get killed. You can't go into these places. Ayin Sham. So if you go there to Israel, you want to get a tour of the, Knesset or whatever. No.
Even haGuela?
So it sounds like, yeah.
Oh wow.
Ubli safik yesh b'chol elu chash amshuche.
Does that apply to like a former conservative shul, like to use a bathroom or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so b'li safik yesh b'chol elu chash amshuche. There's a chash to be drawn after them, right? Ki al davar zed nivnu v'noistu. It's not just like we're saying, spiritually speaking, because the min created it, therefore it's bad. But these were actually built in order to get people to become more Zionist. Binyane ha'uma, right? They have a place. Binyane ha'uma. These were built.
What is that?
What is Binyane ha'uma? It's like a big conference hall, a big central place in Yerushalayim.
Oh yes, I heard of that.
This is what it was built for. Therefore, going into these places is a sakana for the soul. They're going to be for sure destroyed by Melech HaMashiach. So now you understand the pasuk in Yechezkel. He says, don't worry, I'm going to build up the destroyed places. Not the destroyed places like you think it means destroyed from Galus, from the years of you not living in Eretz Yisrael. No, destroyed by Mashiach. Hashem says, I'll build them up. V'tachas binyanim ho'elu yami lanu Hashem yisbarach binyanim acherim. Hashem will give us other buildings instead of these buildings. Mikudashim b'kedusha alyon, and those buildings will have kedusha. V'az yedu kol hagoyim. And then the nations will know ki ani Hashem bonisi anei rastos, that I am Hashem who built the destroyed. And those are not going to be the same as the buildings that were destroyed. They won't be afraid anymore to go into them. And now we understand the connection to Yosef, right? Just like Yosef said to his brothers, don't worry, I'm going to support you. The Rishaim won't support you. Same way here. Don't worry, he said, Hashem's saying in Lasi Lavai, Daber Alev Yerushalayim, V'kiru Eleha, I'm going to build Yerushalayim, and it won't be anything of the influence of the Zionists. V'kach tiyeh gam lo'asid hanechama me'ezah HaKadosh Baruch Hu sheyedu, and they'll all know, she'im yiyeh eza achiza kala be'ayeshua, u'binyan ha'aretz me'Yerushalayim, if any of the building of the land was done by Rishaim, and we have to thank them for anything, ein bozeh shum mamish, and that building is nothing. And all the building that will be done by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, just like Yosef comforted his brothers.